We had done fertility for 3 years, so when we learned we were pregnant, we were very excited, yet scared at the same time because we had gone through all of that. So going into some uncharted territory with some complications to begin with was a little scary. I went into labor 5 weeks early. About a week prior, we got the news that he would probably have to have heart surgery.
To finally get to that point and then have some testing done to tell us that he's possibly going to have or need heart surgery when he's born, just taken aback and what do you mean?
Nate was born and we had to wait a little bit of time to see if he would actually need the surgery or not. We were told fairly quickly that he would need the surgery. But for us, in the interim, he developed a blood infection. So not only were we anticipating the surgery and we're scared about that, he developed an infection and became septic. Apparently 3/4 of the kids that get that type of infection don't survive.
We didn't realize what kind of trouble Nathan was in until one night, I think about 2 days after he developed the infection that he told us. I was talking to a nurse and I asked her, are we in trouble? And when she started to break down and cry and walk away, I knew we were in some serious trouble. But the good news about that is Nate was able to fight off that infection with the help of good doctors and the antibiotics that were used, and proceeded then probably, up into that 2 weeks then and had the heart surgery.
Initially, they told us it was aortic stenosis. And once they got in there, realized that it was coarctation of the aorta, which in the scheme of things, if you have to have a heart surgery, that's the one to have.
So during the day of the surgery, we had a bunch of family that came up with us in the waiting room. They told us it was going to take, I think, Amy, do you remember? It was like 5 hours that they told us it was going to take, and it ended up taking 3. Dr. Myers came out and it was really matter of fact and said, your son's going to be okay. And felt a lot of relief because there was a lot of stuff going on. We almost lost him. And for us to get past that, past the fertility, past the infection, and then past the heart surgery, we were really thrilled and happy.
We were in recovery for about a week.
Yeah.
Finally able to hold him. Our child is about 5 weeks old at this point, and that's the first chance we had to hold him. It was quite emotional through that time.
So we're home, we're having these worries because we're not hearing the bells and whistles. We're worried that something, hopefully doesn't go wrong. And then we have to go back and get a hearing test for Nathan, and it came back that he was deaf. And we're like, wait a minute, didn't we just go through an infection that we almost lost him to, a heart surgery? Yes, it was straightforward, but it's still heart surgery. And now he can't hear? Like, what is going on? What's happening here? Like, can't we catch a break?
As time progressed, things were looking really good with him. The surgery was a success. Blood was flowing perfectly. Everything was healing as it should be. We told him fairly early. He didn't get hearing aids until he was about 2 years old, so I'm not sure how much he got from what we were telling him. But I think from a very young age, we wanted Nathan to know what he had been through and what a fighter he is.
I would say it was really shocking at first, because I didn't know how serious it was, and then as time progressed and he went on to checkups, it was and my heart started getting more healthier. Healthier. It was fairly easy.
Nate lives a relatively normal life at this point. And if our story can help other kids who may have a heart defect live a happier, healthier life, you know, maybe that's Nate's reason.
The better educated we are, the better we do. So I forget who I heard it from, and I think it's Maya Angelou, but when you know better, you can do better. And so the monies that are raised at these times during the Heart Ball or any of the functions through American Heart Association helps us gain more education, understanding about diseases that we face in our lives, especially with our hearts. And that's why we give. That's why we're proud to have Nathan as our survivor story this year. I know he's going to do great things. It sounds like he wants to help people in the medical field. He's been talking about that ever since he was younger, even though he's still only 15. And you know, all those monies help more people, and we just appreciate being able to be part of this Heart Ball.